Hello, everybody. I've kind of lost touch of time, but I think I've been here about 3 days at hospital, and hopefully they're going to let me out today. So I had a CT scan because of pains in my stomach, which occurred recently. But not just recently, and I'll come back to that in a minute. Following a gallbladder operation, and the pain appeared to be emanating just above my navel, around one of the incision areas, from the keyhole surgery from the gallbladder operation. I was never convinced and told the surgeon and my doctor 3 years ago that this was a gallbladder issue, and I'm still not convinced now, and you'll see why in a second. I first had this pain in my abdomen while on holiday, or the most striking time was when I was on holiday in Pisa with some friends, and I couldn't walk around the town the one day. It was so intense, and that's what took me to the doctors. I always thought it was I can't think what the damn thing's called, but as you get older, your muscles tend to separate either side of your belly and allows things to push through. It's not a hernia or a rupture as such. It's just one of those things that happens, I'm told. And they kept saying, well, it's not that that's causing it. And I thought it was, to the point where I was going to have cosmetic surgery, believe it or not. And I ended up going seeing a local cosmetic surgeon who just happens to be the same guy who does gallbladder operations in Stafford and Stoke. Well, he saw me and did all the scans and said, oh, you've got gallstones. That's what'll be causing the pain. So 2 years later, after 4 cancelled operations by them, I eventually got my operation about a month ago, and they removed my gallbladder. Which went well, they told me, and I've got no reason to believe otherwise. One of the areas that didn't look so great to me was the incision above my navel. It left a hard, sort of large coin-sized area around it, which I thought was odd because none of the others had got it, but that one had. And I just put it down to where it was located because it was near my navel. And cracked on with work, and probably did a little bit too much lifting kit and stuff like that than I should have done, but needs must. So then came the pain, and after a day of it, and not relating it back to when I was away in Pisa years ago, and other times that it's happened, rarely, but on occasion, I went to see the doctor thinking it was to do with the gallbladder operation, and so did the doctor, and so did the CT scan, and so did the doctors at the hospital they moved me to for the surgery, and so on and so on. But also what came up when I had one of several tests done, I think it was probably the blood test, was an infection in my lower abdomen, which once again is quite a common thing apparently. You get what they call tears or rips in your lower abdomen, which create little like potholes, potholes as if we ain't got enough of them. Well, that food solids can go into things like peanuts if you haven't chewed them up properly. I love peanuts, used to love peanuts. Well, they can go into that, and they sit there. Now that alone can be enough to cause clogging in your bowel, which I don't have, but it can also cause an infection. and I forget the name for this infection. I did write it down when the nurse went through all this with me today. Thankfully, she was lovely. That can cause chronic pain in the areas that I've got chronic pain. And that could have been happening 4 years ago. Nothing to do with my gallbladder. So there you go. I don't think anybody's made an error. And if they have, it's probably one I can understand. But I've had 2 operations now, which probably weren't necessary, and the new one they can't do anything about. So it's dietary change for Nige. And you just have to live with it, which is a bit naff, because I love me food and don't like to have to think about things that are going into it. I just sort of Gordon Ramsay it, and if it needs it, it has it, you know. But not anymore. It was saying, now I've got to take care to have the right kind of fibre and plenty of it, and not the wrong kind of fibre, because that can cause a problem, and chew my food better than I've probably ever chewed it, so it ends up like baby food when I swallow it, and so on and all that. If not, then this could happen again, and probably will. So that's it. I'm waiting to go home, waiting to see my doctor so she can say, you can leave now, which I'm looking forward to. I've still got pains in my stomach, but the dosage of paracetamol they give me sort of reduced it by about 50%, which is livable, until I'm bending or crouching, and I've got a bed rest now for a few weeks. So that's the story of my latest hospital visit. Sorry if it bored you, but I like to sort of document these things in the only way I can, and that's on here. Love you all. Bye.